You've probably seen or heard of a Pokemon Nuzlocke by this point, and they're pretty hard. But what's harder than one Nuzlocke? 2 Nuzlockes? Okay, but I don't think that's hard enough. Let's make it 3. 3 Nuzlockes at the same time. Would that be difficult? The answer is a resounding yes. I booted up 3 instances of Pokemon Emerald at the same time and synced up my controls, so if I pressed a button in one game, it would press it in every game. For example, if I pressed up, every single game would register an up press and all of them would move. You may be thinking, so what? Well, because all Pokemon games have inherent RNG baked into their very souls, whether that be random encounters, enemy move usage, or NPC locations, there are so many things that can make these 3 games desync from each other. This could mean I'm in a battle in 2 of the games, and in a dialogue box in another. If I press A to forward the dialogue box, I could accidentally use an incorrect move, getting something killed, or accidentally running from an encounter. That's why this run is so challenging, and if I faint in just one of the games, I faint in them all. What you're about to watch is one of the most insane Nuzlocke challenges you will ever see, so watch as I attempt to beat 3 Pokemon Emerald Nuzlockes at the same time. P.S. I'm giving away a copy of the latest Pokemon game, Pokemon Legends Arceus, and all you have to do is drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be announcing the winner on a community post in the next 2 weeks. But now, finally, with all of that out of the way, let's get into the video. As Professor Birch asks me what's between my legs, the games are ever so slowly beginning to desync. This gives me the opportunity to pick both genders. I'm both a girl and a boy at the same time. I don't know how this is possible. It feels a little different, I'll tell you that much. This means our games are instantly desynced, because if you start as a female, your house is on the right hand side, and if you're a male, your house is on the left hand side. We get to the starters after fumbling around town like a cuckoo with its head chopped off and manage to get all 3 different starters because of the desync. This adds on another level of difficulty because the moves are always going to be different. The rival encounters will always have different Pokemon, and overall our teams are going to be different because of the RNG for the catches. We named both Torchic and Trico Nightmare after one of my mods, and our Mudkip after Kyle, another viewer. P.S. all of this is recorded live on Twitch, so if you want to see this all unfold live in front of your very eyes, come check us out. We're super friendly. We take down all the Poochyenas and make our way towards our rival. It becomes super apparent at this point how difficult it is to play this game desync. Trying to make my way up to the rival was a nightmare! And once all the games finally reach this battle, we take out all the starters without a problem. As we claim our Pokeballs, we get all our games into their catch encounters. 2 of the games managed to catch something, being a Wingull and a Wurmple, and the other I accidentally ran away from. See, that's the problem with these goddamn menus. I'm picking Pokeball on one and pick and run on another. Frustrated already with the movement, I needed to find a way to get the games to sync back up, so this trio can move through the world together. My answer was NPC dialogue boxes. NPC dialogue boxes are known to be some of the most annoying parts of any Pokemon game, especially when they're explaining the boring story box by box. But in this run, dialogue boxes would ultimately save my sanity, because if I begin talking to an NPC, the character can no longer move. Meaning I would be able to catch another character up and enter the dialogue box, and then the final game would be able to do the same. The most common way I usually did this was at either a Pokemon Center or a mart, as both have guaranteed NPCs. This is super helpful, but in saying that, because of this goddamn forsaken grass, things would desync pretty fast. Damn you RNG! Really annoying game, or rage-inducing game. So as we make our way towards our dad's gym, how is Norman both the father of May and Brendan at the same time? And how am I meant Brendan and May at the same time? These are the questions. Something fishy's going on here. We watch Wally catch his routes, which inspires me to add a couple more Pokemon to the teams, and from now on I'll only mention important catches to keep things relevant. As we make our way through Petalburg Woods, albeit very slowly because of the amount of grass we have to go through, we come to our first battle against Team Aqua. I was initially concerned with this Poochyena, but in the end, all of our teams make it through the woods unharmed. On the other side of this woods is a bunch of battles and a double battle. This is a good point to talk about double battles. Double battles are especially problematic because after selecting a move, you then have to select the target you want to hit. And if you're not paying attention, you could end up taking out one of your own Pokemon. Luckily though, nobody fades here, and after a little bit of training, I'm ready for the first gym. The top left team currently consists of Nightmare, our Combusken, and Yamoshi, our Lombre, 2 peas in a pod. The top right team has just Grovyle, and the bottom left just Master. The only game I was really concerned about was the top left, in case somehow our Fire Chicken gets crushed by a rock. All 3 games managed to take down the first Geodude without too much of an issue. The second ones also go down, but when the Nose Pass comes out, I get a little scared, as Rock Tomb does a lot more damage than I was expecting. And sadly, our Lombre gets trapped in here by a block, and because I forgot to go and get potions in this game, Lombre gets knocked out. Combusken does come in and finish the job, however, meaning all 3 games conquer this gym, receiving badge number 1, after nearly 5 full hours. Oh my god. I never spent 5 hours getting to the first gym. After saving this silly burb, our rival challenges us to a battle. I completely forgot about this fight, I'm not gonna lie. Luckily, both the top games have no issue, and our boy Lil Nut barely takes down Trico. Another method of realigning the games is the use of corners. By getting one of the characters into a corner like this, where if we move up and to the right, we would bonk. This would allow the other 2 games to use up and right with no repercussions to the other games, eventually meaning all of the games can sync back up. We'd use this technique as we made our way down to Dewford town. Upon arrival though, we did have to head into the cave to give the letter to Steven. We do catch 2 mons, both Munkahita and Zubat, for bottom right and top right respectively. The path to Steven's Stone though is quite problematic. What could be worse than the RNG of grass desyncing me? Being in a cave which is basically permanent grass? Yeah, it's bad. On top of that, as you go down further, the darkness creeps in, and since you can't see anything, this resulted in me separately focusing on each game in order to make it through. Once we finally get to Steven, we hand him his stupid letter and get the hell out of this hellish cave. As we fought our way through the trainers in the gym now, I began to fear the leader fight. So I decided to skip him for now and head over to Slateford. You know what you shouldn't skip though? Any of my videos. So make sure you subscribe and drop me a like if you're enjoying the videos so far. It only gets better. As you can probably tell, for the most part, I like to get the games to do most of the important sections together. However, this doesn't always work out. As we start heading towards Gym 3, I actually end up walking into our rival battle in one of the games. Our rival does have a counter to our starter, which is really not optimal, considering the amount of levels we've poured into them. Fortunately though, the one that went into this fight was the Combusken game, which made it through, luckily after spamming bulk up and double kicking everything. The other 2 games were definitely not ready for this fight, so while the top right progressed even further, taking out Wally and entering the gym, I decided to do some training on the others. Somehow this game landed himself back at Dewford, and I genuinely have no clue how. I was just training and we're back here, so I decided to take on the gym. Since everything was a bit higher level, we managed to beat the gym with no casualties, but only one of our games have beaten Gym 2, so we can't tick off the badge just yet. Finally, the other 2 head into their respective rival fights, somewhat desync. I wonder how many times I've said desync so far. Probably a lot. Desync. I did train up a Zubat to learn Wing Attack for the rival Combusken, and it paid off tremendously. On the bottom left though, when Grovyle comes in, Marshtomp barely lives from 2 absorbs and retaliates with a bide, which takes it out. Super lucky. Things were looking up. Although we lost a bunch of Mons along the way, our team still seems somewhat stacked. But things were about to get even better. The biggest thing in this run was the Daycare. The Daycare is literally a run saver. I'm pretty sure you've noticed by now, but in these games, I basically have only been using 2 Pokemon in each game. My starter, and then Nuzleaf, Zubat, or Whismur. But the majority was definitely my starter, and as you can see, their levels are way above anything else on the team. The Daycare lets me deposit 2 Pokemon, and as I travel around, they gain levels. So with a little bit of movie magic, we were able to get a bunch of decently level mons without too much hassle, ready to take on Gym 3. But before we could make it to the leader, we had another issue, and that was the moves. Oops, there goes Combusken's only fighting type move until level 59. I accidentally deleted Double Kick, without even realizing, which was not very pog, as the cool kids say. Because of lack of paying attention, unfortunately, situations like this, me deleting a very important move for an upcoming battle, is pretty common. Heading into the fight first was the top left, who sweeps the gym again with a bulk up and ember combo. My boy Combusken is a little bit of a beast. The second fight, let's just say, did not go as well. Expecting Marshtomp to be able to carry this fight, I wasn't really focusing too much on it. Instead, I was focusing on the other game. However, this doesn't start too well, as Voltorb self-destructs, taking out our beloved Lil Nut, leaving me personally with only one nut. The tragedy doesn't end there though, as we clear through the rest of the mons, we make it to Manectric. I accidentally selected Bide here, which if you don't know locks you in for 2 turns and then the damage you take is returned to the enemy but increased. Sadly, Marshtomp couldn't take 2 quick attacks, which leads to his death. My only chance now was John Cena, the Makuhita, who we just got out of the daycare. Barely, just barely, Makuhita lives a shockwave and hits a Vital Throw, who also barely lives. I have but one option now. A carp. I sacrifice my remaining mon and get a free swap into Magikarp. This fish knows tackle, baby, and so our floppy fish out of everything is the one who clutches out the W. Phew. Barely coming through this battle was clutch, as I really was not excited to restart this run. Battle 3 isn't too bad though, and we managed to roll through the gym with Leaf Blade. Seriously though, how the heck did I manage to mess up losing a Pokemon immune to electric damage in an electric gym? Honestly, it's shameful, and I might just quit Nuzlocking after this. As we sync back up, obtaining the bike and trying to teach Rock Smash to everyone without deleting an important move, mind you, we push on through a bunch of routes with a bunch of trainers that we miraculously make it through unharmed.
These routes are so damn long, if for some reason we need to go back to the Pokemon Center to heal, it literally takes us so long to run all the way back through this whole route just to get back to the healing center to run all the way back. Luckily though, this doesn't happen. And eventually, this leads to an interaction with Team Aqua and Magma, as both our remaining starters evolve into their final forms. Man, rip Marshtomp. Now we never get to see Swampert. Damn, that's a shame.
We catch a bunch of Swabloos here on every single game,
which will come in super handy when we eventually get Fly from Flannery.
We make it to the peak of Mount Chimmy, and after our first encounter with the leader of Team Magma, our Blaziken games burn through Team Magma somehow. I don't know how fire burns through Magma, but it does. The other two struggle through, but eventually both Sceptile and our tiny little Marill take down the final Camerupt. Now we got a little gym rush on our hands, boys. Let's get into it. The first being Flannery. Everyone manages to take out their Numel and Slugma without a problem. The top left and bottom take down the gym with no problem. But unfortunately, we had to sacrifice our boy at the Electrike to get a safe switch into Sceptile to take it down. Badge 4 claimed. Next gym is Gym 2. Well, for the 2 games that haven't beaten it. As you can expect, these fights are super easy now at the level we're at, so we go and claim the badge on all our games. Finally, it's time to solve these daddy issues. Is May the child or Brendan? Or a mixture of both? Are they brother? Are they sister? I don't know. Is he with the right house's mum or the left house's mum? Make up your mind. This fight will give us the answer. I challenge you, Dad, if you really are my dad. Now, this would have been super easy for Blaziken if we had kept double kicked. Ah, the pain. As 2 of the games make it through, most of the Pokemon, Blaziken suffers stuck on Spinder. I don't know how this happened. He swaps in Slacking now, and I expected to take him down with a Vile Throw. Sadly, this does not happen, and instead, this happens. No! But now, I've learnt my lesson. For Sceptile, I go for a low damage absorb, and he facades me, which lands me at 1 HP. Clutch as fuck. Now we can roll into our Leaf Blade, and the next 2 turns, knock it out. Azumarill also knocks out his Slacking. Let's check on the Blaziken game though. Yep, still fighting Spinder. Come on, bro. Luckily though, I have been setting up a bunch of Bulk Ups, which is basically just going to let me roll through the rest of the gym. And we earn Gym Badge number 5. Sadly, however, we get no closer to figuring out who's the daddy.
God damn it, Norman, you scandalous scamp. You've been with both of them, haven't you?
This takes us over the water now and into the Weather Institute. And what rhymes with Institute? Well, that'd be this
That's right.
Institute. The fight goes down without any dramas, but as we attempt to leave, our rival literally rams us with their bike and demands to battle. How you gonna ram someone with a bike and then try and destroy their pets? I was expecting this fight to be a little scary considering how scary the last fights were, but we have to have a free pass somewhere, and this fight was just that. Everyone was brutally rolled over in retaliation to the bike attack. This brings us to gym number 6, the Flying Gym. This gym is a super scary check in most playthroughs of the game. Me being slightly over-leveled here and my ego stroked by how smoothly getting to the gym leader it was, we begin our battle, and the top left absolutely pumps Winona. The other two are a little slower as the bottom left makes it to Altaria, her ace. Grumpig manages to take it out with a crit. Finally, our top right takes it out with a sacrifice from both Nomal and Altaria. Oh my god. We just lost 2 mons. This is bad. But we did claim our gym badge. Plot time, baby! Who doesn't love a bit of Pokeplot? Off to Mount Pi we go, where 2 super important swollen orbs are stolen from their safety sack. Now we gotta help this old couple, specifically this old man, get these orbs back. This takes us to the Team Magma hideout, which is god awful and painful as fuck. This place is crawling with goons and pokes, and after slogging our way through like 10 or so battles, we arrive at the Magma Lord Groudon and Maxie. My presence scares the ground god away, and Maxie challenges me to a duel. Another thing I found really helped me in this run was bag menuing. In the bag, you have a couple of options. Clicking right would obviously switch the bag slot, and then up and down would switch the item. If I were to pick an item in one game, and because I had a different number of items in another game, scroll down and click close bag instead, we would be able to desync while in battle by getting some to just still be in the bag while others are choosing a move. This discovery was massive, and it came at just the right time before the Maxie battle, as Maxie's first mon is taken down by all 3 games, 2 games sending Camerupt and 1 sends in Crobat. Blaziken nearly gets taken down by an Earthquake here because I was focusing on the Vibrava switch, and now after utilizing some bag manipulation, we get one of the Camerupts taken down. And in a seriously unfortunate turns of events, the other Camerupt lands a critical Earthquake, taking down Azumarill. Another mon we practically had from the start. What?
I thought Azumarill was gonna be fine!
Eventually, Blaziken lands another critical Blaze Kick, taking down 1 Maxie. Our bottom left Torkoal knocks out Crobat with a Flamethrower, and while focusing on the end of the final battle, Blaziken somehow slips into a battle with a Geodude and brought down to just 4 HP. Luckily it survives though, and we take down the final Maxie. Multiple Maxies sitting in a cave. Fucking. No, they're not, but this would have brought up the temperature even more, even though we're right next to lava. Now it's Aqualad's turn. As we push into the base, I make the important decision to ensure that we get the Master Ball on all of our games, because I have a plan for it. Reaching the end of this base, we get told Aqualad is in another castle, and so we run off into World 2. On our way there though, we make a quick pit stop at Gym 7. This gym is horrible to get through on multiple games because of the switch movement system and the blockages and the amount of unskippable trainer battles. It takes us about an hour to get all of our games just to the leader. Leaders? What the how's it legal for me to have to be 2 gym leaders to get 1 badge? Well, in my case, it's actually 6 people at the same time. Oh, come on, man. Is he really doing this? Dude, come on. Cry me a river, bro. Get on with the video. Get back to work. You done? Okay. What a fucking asshole, man. Fine. I'll do it. Double battles. Oh, double battles. What fun. As we discovered very early in this run, these suck, and the gym battle was no exception. This game unfortunately loses Swablu because on the switch in, Xatu lands a critical, one-shotting it. With the help of Surf, we do manage to deal enough damage to both Pokemon at the same time though. The Solrocks come out now and set up a sunny day. It then tries to go for a Solar Beam, which would have been an instant hit, but thanks to me rain dancing, we avoid certain death. This eventually leads us to taking down the 2 leaders. Bottom left has no problem with Flygon and Gyarados just railing these 2 kids Pokemon with Surf and Crunch. And when the top right finally makes it to the fight, we use the same strategy with Flygon and Gyarados. Second last badge acquired. Now back to the story grind. Steven and I crush Maxie and his subordinate in another double battle as if I hadn't been through enough of these. Nonetheless, we get dived out and we teach it to all our Gyaraduses. Gyaradusi size? Gyaradusis? Gyaradusi. This lets us get to the giant fish Kyogre, and like the last time with Groudon, this man pieces out faster than my dad did.
Fucking meow.
Our battle with Archie goes over quite smoothly as Exploud, Gyarados, and Torkoal burst through his team respectively. It's literally like super hot and super wet. Title of your sex tape. Oh god, I don't know. We head to the site of the last gym, and unfortunately these two pesky legendaries get in our way. This means we'd have to go do a lot more plot stuff, which means heading to the sky pillar to summon Rayquaza. I make the precise decision here to ensure we encounter no Pokemon on our way through. You'll see why later. We send Rayquaza back to the other legendaries to stop them from smashing into each other. Adding a third member to their little smashing session is sure to slow it down. Oh, it does? Weird. I thought that would have made it way more hot and way more wet. Let's be real. As they finally calm down, we can head into the final gym of the game. This gym puzzle lands me in a little bit of trouble as two of them make it to the gym leader and one crashes through the ice. In saying that, the top right crashes through the final leader's Watermons with the help of both Sceptile and Magneton. But the other two games, well, they suffer. And when I say suffer, I mean really suffer. All because of one hellish creature. Its name is Kingdra. All the other mons are pretty quickly disposed of, but Kingdra is a different beast. Altogether. Its moveset is unbelievably dangerous. Kingdra has both Double Team, Ice Beam, Rest, and Water Pulse. The first problem is the Double Team. Kingdra instantly raises its evasion back to back, making our hit rate so minuscule we hit probably every 1 in 4 hits on average. And on top of this, it has Water Pulse, which has the chance to confuse you, adding an additional chance to miss by hitting yourself. The next problem is Rest. Because none of my mons can deal high enough burst damage, it always manages to get a rest off, and in the slight chance it was low, old mate here would heal him up with a Hyper Potion instead. Finally, Ice Beam manages to freeze 2 different Pokemon in 2 different games as well, which is also super unfortunate. This leads to only one outcome: stall strategies. Basically, I resorted to heal spamming and slowly chipping away. Unfortunately, one of the Gyarados were taken out, which is really not ideal for the next part of the game. Nevertheless, our Expert here takes it out after Kingdra stays asleep for long enough. Meanwhile, in the other game, we've stalled for so long on switches and heals, it ran out of PP on all of its moves, leaving it eventually just struggle itself to death, thus earning us our final gym badge, and also my sanity back after that absolute trash encounter. Now, it was time to put my secret plan into motion. You might feel this is a little cheap, but in this run, I decide we need all the help we can get. So, we go to catch the Sky Dragon. So I slather on my repel and slowly make my way through the Sky Tower, one game at a time. Unfortunately, like the bumbling idiot I am, I was not paying attention, and the bottom left game somehow made it inside the tower and manages to encounter a Banette. And then not even thinking, I go, oh, that doesn't count as an encounter because we've already caught it. So I think I better go catch these other 2 Rayquazas while I have the chance, just in case that happens. Meanwhile, I forget to even apply the repel on the bottom left, and we encounter a freaking Claydol. I'm such an idiot. I could have avoided this and caught Rayquaza on all of them if I just wasn't so dumb. No! Luckily, the other 2 games did indeed claim their Quazas in the Master Balls, which leads me to Victory Road. After a little bit of training, and a quite perilous trek through yet another godforsaken cave, we arrive at the league. This run was about to get turned up to 11, let me tell you, and it all starts with Sydney, the Dark Specialist. But first, let's check out our teams and see what we're working with for the Elite Four. So, our current team is Rayquaza, Camerupt, Exploud, Bayonet, Blaziken, and it's gonna be an Electrike. Then we've got a Grumpig, Rayquaza, Flygon, Magneton, Sceptile, and Gyarados. Finally, on our last team, over here on my left, we got Grumpig, Flygon, Bayonet, Gyarados, Altaria, and a Torkoal. Let's do this! I had a plan for the Rayquaza's game. Outrage for 2 turns and then swap into something else. This goes to plan for both games, landing me 2 knockouts. Both Magneton and Subscribe the Manectric, then take down Cacturne and Crawdon, landing us the W in 2 games. The bottom game struggles a little bit more though, as Shifty spams Double Team again with the evasion stats and becomes untouchable. Sydney then heals them to full health, leaving us in a precarious situation. I realize though he's only using extra sensory, so I swap into Grumpig, who manages to eventually take it out. The first Elite Four members down, and with no casualties at that. This is great. Phoebe, the Ghost-type specialist, is next. This was by far the easiest fight. I don't know why, but she has duplicate mons, 2 Dusclops and 2 Bananas, and both are easily manageable. Plus, we have a lot of strong counters to her team. Using the same Rayquaza strategy, we take down the first couple of mons in those games, and Flygon and Manectric once again Thunderbolt and E-Quake their way through the remaining dupes. Our bottom game is doing well here as well, managing to take down the final Sableye. This is going so well! I'm gonna crush this challenge! Or not. This Ice-type specialist was about to destroy half my teams. This lady also has duplicate Pokemon for some reason, with 2 Glalie and 2 Celio. And then the evolution Walrein. Leading with an electric and grass counter against the water seal, we take it down. We sub into Magneton here, which knocks out Walrein with a lock-on Zap Cannon combo, basically securing the game for us. The other two are not so lucky. Subscribe nearly finishes off one of the Glalies when Bomberman inbound. Yo, Glalie exploded itself. You better subscribe. No! On top of this, I accidentally send in Rayquaza while menuing in another game. So I sub into Bayonet and he drops Banette so low so quick. So I swap to Blaziken, taking the Ice Beam like a champ, expecting Sky Uppercut to do great damage, and unfortunately through the godforsaken RNG of this game, oh my god. I go for extreme speed now with Rayquaza, bringing him to half, which I could have just done from the very start, but man has a Citrus Berry, meaning even if we use extreme speed again, we would lose Quasi. But while I was trying to swap in Altaria in the bottom game, I accidentally also swap in Camerupt and they both get taken out. My last chance for the top game is Expert, who manages to finish off the rest of its health with a Facade. This leaves the bottom game now with only Celio remaining. Expecting Fainter Tank to do enough damage to finish off this dumb Seal, I get it to what must be 1 health remaining, which lets it get off a Blizzard, which knocks out Bayonet as well. God damn it, how many mons? We do finish it off with Gyarados however, but over all of the games we lost 5 Pokemon. This puts a lot more pressure on for the even more difficult fight that was about to follow. The Dragon Master Drake, or Malfoy, I don't know, Draco, Drake, you get it. Now Rayquaza was really going to have to carry here with his Outrage. As per usual, the first 2 mons, both Shelgon and Altaria, are dealt with swiftly, but while menuing in another game, I accidentally swap in Magneton against this Flygon, ultimately leading to its death. Realization in 3, 2, 1. I wasn't watching! Oh, fuck! He would have been massive for the final fight. Sceptile comes in now though and finishes it off. We then knock out the big boy Salamence with outrages from Rayquaza in both games, which could have been game ending, and although we lost Magneton along the way, the first 2 games have made it through the fight. Now let's roll back the tape.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
The bottom game is where we're gonna focus now, as we take down the opponent's Shelgon and Flygon with our Flygon. In comes Altaria, which scares the shit out of me, so I swap into Gyarados as I thought I had prepared enough by adding Thunderbolt to its kit before the battle. But this does nothing, which ultimately leads to his death. While the other 2 games wait, I swap into Torkoal, which does manage to lower Salamence to half before getting taken out. We swap into Grumpig now to finish the job and take down his final mon, Kingdra, leaving us in a less than ideal situation, that's for sure. The bottom game now has just 2 Pokemon remaining, Flygon and Grumpig. If we're gonna lose this run, I think it's because of this bottom left team. Nevertheless, it was time. After all the stupid deaths and bad choices we made along the way, we had made it to the champion, Wallace. Now, if just a couple of things went my way, I'm sure we'd barely be able to win. 2 of our games were in less than ideal situations though. Multiple Pokemon that Wallace uses no Ice types attacked, which is super effective against my Rayquaza and Flygon. So I'd have to use them very carefully. Top right should be fine though, as it's primed for victory. Let's test that theory. So, in an unexpected turn of events, after spamming Carmines for 6 turns, boosting Grumpig up to deal insane damage, we take down the Wailord. And as quick as it dropped, so did Tentacruel. And what's next? Ludicolo, gone. Same with Wishcash, and then finally Gyarados and Melodic, deleted. like flies on the walls, swatted like nothing by, of all things, a Grumpy. I thought this was going to be the problem one. Okay, let's go. Things go quite smoothly for the top right as well, since we have Sceptile, who takes down Waylord no problem. We lose our boy Ben the Gyarados here, fighting Melodic, but it all works out as Rayquaza finishes off with an extreme speed. What I should have been focusing on was the top left, our Bayonet here, which I was hoping would clutch out some big damage with Shadow Ball, is taken out by a crit from Melodic. Stupid bad menuing again, plus bad RNG crits on top. Oh my god. You would have thought I would have been better at this by now. We then repeat the same extreme speed kill on Melodic though with Rayquaza, leaving just 2 mons remaining on both games. Yes! Okay. They both managed to take out Gyarados and Ludicolo respectively, leaving only Whiscash. This was it, all down to the wire. I synced up our outrages to finish the job, and this brings him to the red. And luckily the catfish forgets why it's even here using Amnesia, letting the left hand side claim its victory. I sub in Sceptile now on the right, who primes up his Leaf Blade, and boom. Yes! Woo! All 3 completed at the same time with the most fucked controls possible. Yes! Woo! So, thank you guys so much for watching me conquer 3 games of Pokemon Emerald at the same time while doing a Nuzlocke. If you enjoyed, a sub and like would be super appreciated, and with all that said and done, all I have to say is have a great day, and I'll see you later.